I am updating my shark deck profile since kind of got hurt because of Ryzeal. I do believe it's Ryzeal's fault that the shark deck got hurt by getting Bahamut Shark and Abyss Dweller banned. So I figured I'd go ahead and remake the shark deck and make an updated version. And I do still think that the shark deck is not dead yet. Now if they ban Kraken, then yes, it probably is dead. But starting off with the monsters, I play 3 copies of Silent Sea Nettle. Silent Sea Nettle is a free body once per turn while you control a water monster. However, you can't summon from your hand for the rest of the turn except for water monsters. And then with those cards in the graveyard, you can banish it to target 3 water monsters in your graveyard, return them to the deck. Which normally will be your water monster, water extra Xyz monsters. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. And then next, I play Silent Angler. Silent Angler does the exact same thing as Sea Nettle, except when you summon from your hand with its effect, then you cannot summon from your hand for the rest of the turn. And then it has no grave effect. And then next, I play 2 copies of Hydrojet Shark. Hydrojet Shark is a free body while you control an Xyz monster. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard to then be able to add an Aquajet card from deck to hand. You can only use each of those effects once per turn. Next, I play 2 copies of Drake Shark. Drake Shark has the effect that if it's added from your deck to your hand by card effect, you can special summon it. It counts as 2 materials for the Xyz summon of a Shark Drake monster. And then a Shark Drake monster that has this card's material gains the effect, or once per turn, it can detach 2 materials, target a spell or trap your opponent controls, and attach it to it as material. Next, I play 1 copy of Lantern Shark. Lantern Shark has the effect that when it's summoned, you can special summon a level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from your hand. And then, speaking of level 3, 4, or 5, it can also be treated as a level 3 or 5 monster for the Xyz summon of a water monster. And then, I play 3 copies of Buzzsaw Shark. It has the same effect as Lantern Shark, where it counts as level 3 or 5 for water. And then once per turn, Buzzsaw Shark can target 1 monster you control that to then special summon a monster from your deck that has the same level. I believe it does have to be a fish. Target 1 monster you control, special summon a monster from your deck in defense position. 1 fish monster of the same level as that monster, but a different name. And then if you do, it cannot activate its effects this turn. Just trying to make sure. One thing I will go ahead and mention is that if you summon Buzzsaw Shark and it targets itself, if your opponent ogres Buzzsaw Shark, then Buzzsaw Shark doesn't do anything because its target on a field no longer has a level. Well, it doesn't even have a target on the field anymore, which I guess is a better wording. And then next, I play 3 copies of Surfacing Big Jaws. Surfacing Big Jaws has the effect that if you have activated a spell card, then you can special summon this card from your hand for free. And then, if it's summoned, you can add a level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from your deck to your hand. And then, I believe it also counts as level 3 or 5 for the Xyz summon of the thing. I just can't remember what it is. Let's see. We use as level 3 or 5 for the Xyz summon of a water monster. When it's summoned, you add a shark fish monster, not level 3, 4, or 5 fish. And then if you use any of its effects, it locks you into Xyz monsters, which is fine because the entire extra deck is Xyz monsters. And then next, I play 2 copies of Cutter Shark. Cutter Shark can be special summoned from your, I believe, hand or graveyard. Let's see, you want a card effect, you know, other cards. Or one monster you control technical. Okay, yeah. If a monster you control is targeted by a card effect and no other cards, so like your opponent tries to imperm your Surfacing Big Jaws, or a monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can activate Cutter Shark's effect, tribute that targeted card monster to special summon itself. And then you can activate its effect on summon, so that during the end of the turn, you can add a water monster from your graveyard to your hand. So I believe that's what it was. One monster from your graveyard during the end phase of this turn, add one monster from your graveyard to your hand, except for another. Okay. The only downside of that effect is that you can't just add another Cutter Shark, which is perfectly fine because you would rather this card be engraved. And then I also play 1 copy of Crystal Shark. Crystal Shark just lets you target a water monster on field from hand or graveyard to then have that target monster's attack and then special summon itself, but it's banished when it leaves the field. And then it can be she has level 3 or 4 for the Exceed summon of a number monster. And then lastly, I play 3 copies of Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark can activate in your hand to summon itself while you control a water, or I forget what it was. I think it just has to be a water monster. Let's see. Yeah, if all monsters you control are water with a minimum of 1, you can activate its effect in hand to summon itself, add a level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from deck to hand, and then double the next damage your opponent would take from a number monster that turn. I believe it's specifically battle damage. Let's see. Double the first battle damage inflicted for that turn. And then moving on to the spells, I play 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent, since it did get put to 1 on the ban list. But it can only activate if your opponent's activated a monster effect during the main phase, where you can activate 1 of 3 effects, where you can draw 2 cards, look at your opponent's hand, and shuffle it back into the deck. Or you look at your opponent's hand and shuffle 1 card from it back into the deck, or you can take control of the opponent's monster till the end of the turn. Then next, I play 3 copies of Aquajet Surface. Aquajet Surface just lets you special summon a level 4 or lower fish monster from your fish, aqua, or sea serpent from your hand or graveyard. And then during the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to then target 1 fish, aqua, or sea serpent monster you control, have it gain 1,000 attack till the end of the turn. Then you can only use each effective Aquajet Surface once per turn. Next, I play 3 copies of White Mirror. White Mirror has the effect that once per turn, you can target level 4, I think it's level 4 or lower. Target level 4 or lower fish monster in your graveyard, special summon it back from the graveyard, and if you do, you can add a monster with the same name from your deck to your hand. Kind of makes it sad that this is just a monster reborn that can be ashed. And then next, I play 3 copies of 7th Ascension. 7th Ascension's only effect in this deck is add 7th Tachyon. Which 7th Tachyon will let you reveal number 101, Silent Honor Arc, to let you grab any level 4 water or level 4 aqua monster from your deck to your hand. And then you put 1 card in your hand at the top of your deck. And then you're locked into Xyz, which again is fun because this entire deck is the extra deck is Xyz monsters. Next, I play 3 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust. Trust can only be activated if your opponent's activated I think that's a monster effect. See, yeah, it does activate a monster effect during your turn. Then you can set a normal spell or normal trap from your deck. Or if your opponent controls a monster, you can add a normal spell or normal trap to your hand instead. And if it sets a card, it cannot activate that turn. And that's it for the spells. Move on for the traps. There's only 2. I play 1 copy of Virtue Stream. Virtue Stream just lets you target 1 fish, aqua, or sea serpent monster you control, target 2 cards your opponent controls, and destroy them. And then it also has the grave effect. You can banish it to then target 1 water monster you control. And the next time that card would be destroyed by card effect, or by battle or card effect, it's not destroyed. And then lastly, I play 1 copy of Gozen Match. This makes it so that each player can only control 1 attribute of monster, and any other monsters are sent to the graveyard. Which, I'll explain why this is in the deck later, which you probably have already figured out. Moving on to the extra deck, I play 1 copy of La Virtue Dragon. La Virtue Dragon has the effect that when it's summoned, you can add 1 copy of Virtue Stream from your deck to your hand. Then you can detach a material, target a level, 4 lower water monster? I can never remember. Detach material, then add a fish. Okay. You can detach a material to then add a fish, aqua, sea serpent monster that's in your graveyard back to your hand. And then its other effect will let you target 2 Xyz monsters you control, detach a material from one and attach it to the other. Which usually will be itself and something else, and you'll give it this last material to that other monster, and then this will be your target for Virtue Stream. And next, I play 2 copies of number 4 Stealth Kraken. Stealth Kraken is the reason why it goes in matches in this deck, as it has the effect that all monsters on the field become water. So as long as you're not playing against a water deck, then this will make it so your opponent can't play. But it also has the effect that during the main phase as a quick effect, you can destroy 1 water monster your opponent controls, and if you do, deal damage to your opponent equal to half its original attack. What was the attack on field? I can never remember with this thing. Let's see. Okay, half the attack had on field. And then if this card's XE summon card is destroyed, then you can summon Stealth Kraken spawns from your extra deck for each material it had when it was destroyed. And then each one gets a material from your graveyard. Speaking of, I play 2 copies of Stealth Kraken Spawn. Stealth Kraken Spawn does the exact same thing as Stealth Kraken, except it doesn't change everything to water and it doesn't burn. The other thing with Stealth Kraken Spawn is that if this was summoned off the effect of Stealth Kraken is destroyed, lets you special summon Stealth Krakens from your graveyard for each material it had, and then each one gets a material. Although, one thing I will go ahead and mention is, I am honestly thinking about playing a 3rd copy of Stealth Kraken Spawn, just because Virtue Dragon can give its last material to a Stealth Kraken, so they have 3 materials, so you can summon 3 Spawn out. And I just think it'd be funny as a thought I had. Don't know if I'll actually do it or not. And then next, I play 1 copy of Valiant Shark Lancer. Valiant Shark Lancer is a once per turn, you can target a card your opponent, detach material, target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. And if you have another Xyz monster on the field, it becomes a quick effect. It does have another effect, but that's meant to be used with rank up magic spells, and since there aren't any rank up magics in this deck, you don't really need to worry about it. And then next, I play 1 copy of Nash Knight. Nash Knight has the effect that once per turn, you detach a material, attach a number from 101 to 107 to this card's material, and then you can attach a card your opponent controls to as material. And then you can special summon a Chaos Xyz Nash Knight from your extra deck using it as material. And then Nash Knight has the effect that you can just activate its effect, detaching, I think it detaches material. Okay, you can also see something. Okay, so what does this do anything besides that? Because I got that last one wrong. Number exceeds from your extra material. Last number. Okay, no. This card's effect does not summon this. This just has the effect that you can summon it by using a Nash Knight. And then Nash Knight can activate its effect to special summon a Chaos number from your extra deck that has a number between 101 and 107. Which, because this deck does waterlock you at times, that you'll either be summoning 101 or 103, which 101 I generally think is better, but 103 is good in situations where your opponent's attack points and defense points are constantly being changed. Cough, cough, it's actually kind of good against Ryzeal if they have a duo drive with material cough. But then I also play 1 copy of number 101 Silent Arc, just for the ability for 7th Tachyon, and then the Nash Knight. And I also play 1 copy of Chaos number 101 Silent Dark, just because it is actually pretty good, and can help in times when you're in time. Silent Dark has the effect that once per turn, it can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls, attach as material. And then Silent Arc is destroyed, while Silent Arc is in the graveyard and had materials. Then Silent Dark will summon itself, and then you gain life points equal to the attack points it has on the field. And then you can only use that effect once per turn. If you special summon it by its own effect, then you cannot use the effect to attach a monster as material. Or no, it's not that. It can't attack after it summons itself. That's what it was. And then, lastly, I played 1 copy of number 32 Shark Drake, 1 copy of Chaos number 32 Shark Drake Vice, and 1 copy of Chaos number 32 Shark Drake Levice. These 2 are just stepping stones for Shark Drake Levice, as you summon this, then you can summon a Shark Drake Levice by using Shark Drake as material. And then you can discard a spell to then special summon Levice using a Shark Drake monster. But Shark Drake Levice has the effect that it can attack twice, or it's 2 attacks during each battle phase. I have to read it because I forget how it's used. Transferring of materials. Once per turn has quick effect and detach material. Target effect monster your opponent controls negates effects. If you do it, changes the attack defense to 0. Make a second attack during each battle phase, and it can inflict piercing battle damage. Which that's what it was. But anyway, that is it for my current Shark deck profile. The only changes I'm thinking about doing are adding a third Kraken spawn, or then by taking this out, or take out this and the Valiant Shark Lancer for 103 and Chaos 103, which would then enable 7th Tachyon and just let you add any level 4 water or level 4 fairy. There are some changes I'm thinking about doing, but I haven't really decided yet. But if you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas for decks like C in the future, or decks like C face each other, comment down below. I always read the comments. Thank you for watching.